Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Salahgic and 5-pillar practice. Today, let's discuss the place of prostration. So, a couple points about the place of prostration that are interesting, because we want to go as deeply into our prayer practice as possible, especially in the times that we're in. We want to be purified as quickly as possible, as effectively and as efficiently, inshallah, during our Tawbah and Tazkiyah process, as we draw near our Lord, who is nothing other than the wise and compassionate truth most high, the Lord of all worlds. So, when we are drawn near to Allah, when we're cultivating devotion and awakening, going through the awakening of the heart process, prostration, sajda, sujood is very, very important. It's a very powerful contemplation position, as well as a very powerful position of making dua, of making requests, which, of course, our requests should be focused not on what we want, not what we desire, not what we think we need, not what we hope for, but on what we actually need, because the knower knows all. So we want to go as selfless as possible in these days of distress. So when it comes to the place of prostration, a couple things to consider. First off, I wanted to say that it's very important that the Ummah be as unified as possible right now. It's very dangerous and destructive to be going around calling people, kafir, munafiq, zindiq, all these other things, because that's only engaging in devilry. It's not protecting the Ummah. It's actually doing the opposite. And it really looks bad to outsiders. And it also shows them that that's a weakness, and that's a point to exploit for those who are engaged in tactical analysis and stratagems. So we have to consider that to unify the Ummah, it's very important that we see a way to harmonize and to bring together our Sunni and Shia brothers and sisters as one Ummah. And how do we go about this? This is very, very challenging in a number of ways, but one thing that is important to do is to catch one another doing things correctly and honor them and show them respect. One thing that I've noticed, like myself, I don't consider myself to be a Shia, but I want to show them some respects, because when it comes to different groups, I look at it like every group, Allah has preserved different groups to bring certain key pieces to the table and to preserve certain treasures that are of benefit to the whole. Because the way I look at it is, out of 73 sects, only one is saved. And I look at it as the one sect, and Allahu Alam, but the one sect that is saved are the sincere truth seekers. Those who are people of expansive hearts and expansive minds, who are unifiers and harmonizers. So, anyway, when it comes to unifying the Ummah, one thing that the Shia have done, that the Jafaris have done, the Twelvers have done that I really appreciate, is they have honored the tradition of praying on bare earth. Now, of course, many of our Sunni brothers and sisters do this regularly as well. To stand barefoot on bare soil, to put our foreheads, to put the 7 bones to bare earth in prayer is beautiful. And it has a scientific benefit, of grounding. It releases stress. It harmonizes us with our environment. We are made of sacred soil and living water, as is the earth underneath us. So when we put our 7 bones to the ground, we are harmonizing with the earth. This is very interesting. And it has an energetic effect, a purifying effect. And many of you may have experienced this. And I've noticed that the Shia, they do have an emphasis on bare earth prayer, and I really respect this. Now, of course, many of them, what they're doing is they are putting their heads to a prayer disc, which is made of clay, typically, as far as I'm aware. I've never done that, but this is an interesting point, because if it were like a plain clay disc with no writing or no imagery on it, then I would see even more benefit in it. But as is, I think that it is beneficial to pray on bare earth, and this is common ground that I would think that most Muslims could agree on, that it is beneficial to pray on bare earth. to pray on sand, to pray on clay on earth. It's a beautiful experience. Today it's very, very chilly here. But when it comes to the place of prostration, I want us to consider a couple things. So first off, when our Shia brothers and sisters have the disc, this is actually a point of concentration. And around the world, there's a practice for absorption meditation, where you can, like for instance, in the Buddhist tradition, they have discs, these clay discs that they will put in front of them when they're sitting in meditation, a few feet away, I believe, and they will look at the disc until they attain an absorption state, and then they can actually see this disc even when they close their eyes. It's part of a visualization meditation. And there's something similar that could take place that I'm very curious from our Shia brothers and sisters if they've had any absorption experiences from looking at the clay disc while they are in Salah. Because the thing is, we're looking at the same place of prostration, from the standing to the bowing, to the prostration, to the sitting, through the entire process. And this is a very, very interesting thing where we can attain absorption states. Now, of course, for Sunni brothers and sisters, and who are apt to pray on carpets, even outside, then oftentimes what we can do is have a little marker on the carpet, and it might be just some discoloration. It might be like a little dot in the threading, or if you're outside, it might be like a little open space in the dirt that you can focus on in each position to go into an absorption state and be really absorbed and present in the prayer and mindful and appreciative. So this is interesting when we think about the place of prostration on bare earth, whether it's on a carpet. And I like this idea of praying on bare earth in common with our brothers and sisters, because we need to find places of commonality and connection. This is very important moving forward. So give this some consideration. If you, as a Sunni, have had absorption experiences by looking at a place of prostration, or as a Shia, by looking at the clay disc, I would love to hear your stories, and so that we can think about this collaboratively, because I think there's tremendous benefit in thinking about our prayer practice as contemplation practice and part of a rapid path of enlightenment, potentially, inshallah. This is something that we really need to be thinking about now, because we're facing some very deep danger. So anyway, until next time, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.